Hello, my internet fans. It's me, Statboy Mike, and I would like to welcome you to this week's installment of Throwback Thursday. The Casa D18 Studios Channel continues to sort through the archives of the Jeff Meacham Network, the Simple Man brand, JH95 FTW, NoDQ.com, and the Casa Channel in order to bring you classic content that you may not have seen in a long time, if ever. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's Throwback Thursdays offering. I love you all. Statboy out.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Hello pals, Alyssa Marino here, and as a friend of Parker Kane Promotions, I am super excited to share the awesomeness that they've got in store for you this November at WrestleCade. You'll be seeing the world-traveling Capital Championship Wrestling Global Fighting Champ Rebecca J. Scott, a rising star who's been featured on Ladies Night Out, MCW, and more, the stunner Emily J., an internationally traveled talent who you've seen on NXT UK and Stardom, Angel of the Ring Zaya Brookside, and NWA World Women's Tag Team Champion Chicago's Sweetheart Missa Kate will also be appearing live. It's all going down WrestleCade weekend in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. You can catch these stars brought to you by Parker Kane Promotions on Saturday, November 25th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And be sure to stick around for Ladies Night Out the following day on Sunday, November 26th. You can get your WrestleCade weekend tickets at WrestleCade.com.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this installment of Renegade Wrestling, subtitled Renegade Rants number 3.
Yay!
Officially, Renegade Wrestling episode 36. I am your host, JJ Williams.
I'm the one and
With
only
me-
Stat Boy.
And this episode of Renegade Wrestling is, as always,
Stat
tasty
Boy.
beverage approved.
Stolen gimmick.
Oh,
That is a
one's-
darn good tasty beverage.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's Stat Boy approved.
That's right. And we are here tonight on this cool California evening.
Cool. Try frickin' cold. I had to dig out the long sleeves.
And look at me, I'm in my my hoodie, you know. I never wear sweatshirts in here. It's that damn cold. But you know, it's a cool evening to bring you our thoughts on the Survivor Series. Overall, and we'll get into match by match in a minute, but overall I'd say it was a really solid pay-per-view. I think the big pay-per-views this year are getting better and better.
Yep.
It was like you started off with WrestleMania, which just blew donkey balls.
Mm-hmm.
And you went to SummerSlam, which was better than WrestleMania.
Yes.
And you go to Survivor Series, which is better than SummerSlam.
Uh-huh.
And then, hopefully, the Rumble, my favorite event of the year, will completely eclipse all of them.
Okay.
Curtain jerk match was none other than Dolph Ziggler defending his United States Championship against John Morrison. John Morrison doing what he does best in the WWE since WrestleMania, and that's job, hence the hashtag JobMorrison.
Yep.
I've said it before, I have nothing against John personally. Actually do like his work, but he did not deserve to be in that match. He did not belong in that match. And the God in Vinny, let him know he didn't belong in that match. Because they were chanting, "We want Ryder" the whole time.
And I actually tweeted that tonight. I actually put that the crowd chanting, "We want Ryder," is That Boy approved. And after Dolph Ziggler won with the zigzag, lo and behold, Ryder came out. For just to prove a point, really, I screwed up on one of my tweets. So he said to pump up the crowd, but he came out and he let Dolph Ziggler know, "I'm taking your title."
Yeah. And Jeff touched on something on RSI, you know, about if they're going to still be in New York tomorrow, that belt is his. Unfortunately, they will not be in New York tomorrow. They're going to be in Hershey, Pennsylvania. So,
Oh, the chocolate capital of the world.
So I do still hope that it is Ryder's night tomorrow on Raw.
Uh-huh.
I actually was waiting once Ryder hit the ring for Teddy Long to come out and make that match official. With Ryder being talent on both shows, essentially. You know, he's technically signed to Raw, but then he's Teddy's assistant on SmackDown. I was waiting for Teddy to come up and, you know, make that match official and then get the match that we were supposed to get in the first place.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it didn't happen.
But Dolph Ziggler, you know, proved why he is the United States champion by going out there and tearing it up with Jomo. Excuse me, a really good contest.
Yes, it was. Excuse me, sorry. Sorry about that. Yes.
Which brings us to the Divas.
Yeesh. Oh, I got the Dolph match right, by the way, in my predictions.
So did I.
Yes.
So did I.
Divas.
Brought us to the Divas. Beth Phoenix versus Eve in a Lumberjill match.
With Kelly leading out to Lumberjills. Amongst with all the other face divas. We saw that. Everybody was heel, or everybody was face except for Natalya. And the Bellas were standing next to Natalya. I think I'm calling them tweeners.
Yeah, I definitely would agree with that, because it seems like one minute the Bellas are out there, you know, supporting Zack Ryder and, you know, the other divas and, like, being all anti-Beth and Natty. And then the next minute they're, you know, backstage kissing up to Alberto Del Rio and they're helping Natalya at ringside. So they just can't figure out what the fuck to do with the Bellas. You know, take them behind the bleachers, stick a fork in them, and it's about all they're good for anymore, seriously.
The match was pretty quick, too.
It needed to be. Beth needed to make a point, and I don't think it was as quick as you're remembering it to be, but it was quicker than most of the matches on the card. I'll give you that. But Beth with the super glam slam onto Eve. Eve got.
She did.
Eve died a little bit that night.
Well, I mean, we gave her some points for taking a bump off the top rope like that, you know. Good job for her. Let's hope she's okay.
But then again, you know, anybody that trains with Gracie Jiu-Jitsu camp like she does is going to be able to take a fall.
Right.
You know, we actually saw a little bit of that in the match tonight.
Right. But, and that means 2 for 2. 2 for 2.
Yes. Which brought us to the traditional Survivor Series match, which in my opinion...
You don't want to talk about the Rock promo?
No.
Okay, fine.
If The Rock had a promo?
Oh,
I think I was sleeping during that. It went way too long.
Oh, okay. All right.
Nothing against the Rock promo. From what I remember of it, it was funny, but it went way too long.
Oh, okay. Okay, 5-on-5 matchup.
Which, in my opinion, this match should have broken up the 2 title matches. They shouldn't have had both world title matches go back to back.
Right.
They should have thrown this in the middle there to kind of break it up a little bit. But Team Orton versus the Barrett Barrage, the only traditional Survivor Series match on the card, and I want to point out that the WWE mentioned this. I don't know how legitimate it is, because Statboy was on the trending tweets all night, and only once did he actually see something trending that WWE said was trending.
Mm-hmm.
But WWE tried to tell us during this match that Wade Barrett and Cody Rhodes were trending, which, even if they were for a moment, proves one very big point. The heels in this match are more over with your fans than the baby faces. You're doing something wrong, WWE.
Mm-hmm.
If Wade Barrett, Cody Rhodes, Dolph Ziggler, Jack Swagger, and Hunico, well, maybe not Hunico, but if the other 4 are more over with the fans than Randy Orton, Sheamus, Kofi Kingston, you guys need to seriously evaluate some shit. I was glad that Team Barrett won. I don't remember exactly how I called this one. I believe I called Team Barrett.
I have initially said Team Orton, and then I switched at the last second. So, and I also said I wanted to see Cody as sole survivor, but Cody and Wade became sole survivors.
Yeah. Jade almost had it there.
She came pretty
She
close.
almost had it there. Her and Aaron both said that they wanted to see Orton and Sheamus as sole survivors, and they were so close, because that's what it came down to on Orton's team.
Mm-hmm.
And Orton being the Super Viper, we saw that, we were like, oh, great. We're just going to start alternating and running through this. Brogue kick, RKO. Brogue kick, RKO. Nope, that's not what happened.
He lost.
Wade and Cody got the push I think they really need, and hopefully we will see Cody in a big-time play come WrestleMania.
Well, you know who we ain't going to be seeing for a while now. Sin What a shame. The reports that I've heard, it is a ruptured ligament in his knee. The patella ligament, which is right up here, the front of your knee, completely ruptured off, and he's out 6 to 9 months.
How's his back? I didn't get the report because
I didn't hear anything. The thing was, it was when he jumped.
Oh.
Not the landing. The landing was the landing. It was when he jumped. That's what caused the problem. It's called the unofficial medical term is jumping knee syndrome. So as soon as he jumped,
more luchas don't have that issue, the way they fly around the ring.
As soon as he jumped, that's when the tendon snapped, and he couldn't balance himself, and it almost looked like he. Well, I thought he almost hung himself. That's when he went over the ropes. But the fall was just a fall. But it was the knee that gave out, not his back.
You know, we talk a lot of shit on the channel about Sin Cara and how he botches. I want to go ahead and say that I hope Sin Cara has a speedy recovery. And 6 to 9 months, that ain't no joke. You're looking at like SummerSlam next year at best. No Rumble for Sin Cara and no Mania. And everyone was kind of hoping for Sin Cara Mysterio come Mania.
That would have been nice. But it's not going to happen now.
After that match, we went to the first big title match, the World Heavyweight title, and they actually showed the Rain crew reinforcing the Rain, which I thought was kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
And Big Show challenging Mark Henry for the title, and these two showed me something that I didn't think I was actually going to see from the two of them, and they put on a really good match. I was a little bit pissed off at the low blow finish, but I think it really sets up one of the gimmick matches for TLC, either the tables match, the ladder match, the chair match, or the TLC match all together. If I had to predict one of those 3 or 4 matches for these two, I'd say put them in a table match. Because both of them are behemoths, both of them are strong, but I think they could tease the crowd a little bit on, are we going to be able to pick them up and put them through a table?
Maybe have them go through multiple tables. Like, you don't have to go through just one. Maybe like first 2 out of 3 tables or something like that.
That would be an interesting twist.
Or like the one we used to do, like best out of 7 when we did our stuff back then. There you go, best of 7.
I will Renegade approve that.
Yeah.
I think that would be a nice little twist to the table match, make it 2 out of 3 tables, considering on the surface it should be fairly easy for either one of them to put the other one through a table.
Yeah. And Mark Henry's words came true. One of us are going to be carted out. We didn't really see it happen, though, because Mark Henry, even though after the low blow happened and Mark Henry was trying to put the ankle in the chair, of course, Big Show moved. Weapon of mass destruction. We were even calling for Daniel Bryan to come out, but
I was about to get to that. I was going to say, what happened to Daniel Bryan? Because we had an opportune time for the Money in the Bank cash-in. Joey Styles even tweeted. He was like, screw tradition, screw honor, cash in the Money in the Bank.
And of course, we come back and we see he's already got his foot in the brace or the splint or whatever. He's saying, don't leave me alone, don't touch me. Whatever, I'm going to walk out of here because I'm the world's strongest. So we didn't see any. We saw the stretcher being come out, but we didn't see him leave on it. So
next match, the WWE Championship, Albertsons Doritos versus CM Punk, and
the nice surprise of having Howard Finkel come out.
Yes, that was a beautiful moment. You could tell the Fink was getting emotional. The Fink has got so many great memories in the Garden that I think it was a nice tip of the hat, if you will, for Punk to bring him out. Punk has said for weeks, I'm going to get the belt and I'm going to make things interesting again. Yeah. And I think by having Fink come out was just the first thing in a long list of things that I'm sure Punk wants to do to make the belt interesting again.
It was a nice little nod to MSG, WrestleMania 1 and all that. With Fink in the middle.
was the voice of the WWE for years. Pretty much all the way until Lillian came around.
Yep.
And even then, at the big pay-per-views, he would still come out and do matches, and she would just do Raws for a while there.
Yep.
But Punk obviously got the victory with the Anaconda Vice. Very proud of CM Punk getting the belt back. And we both called this one.
Yes, we did. We did very well in this pay-per-view.
Seriously, I wish this had been the NFL Pick'em. Because I think I might actually taken the week on this one.
We both would have done very well.
CM Punk, Anaconda Vice, just as you asked for.
Yes, I did.
Made Alberto tap out. New WWE champion. And I'm hoping the second thing that CM Punk does, and I'm going to steal a little bit from Double A here, is I'm hoping that he comes and pulls a Cody Rhodes and brings back the Winged Eagle WWE Championship.
There you go.
As much as I would love to see the Undisputed belt, I think if Cody's going to have the boxed, white-strapped WWE Intercontinental title, you got to go with the Winged Eagle to kind of match it there.
There we go. And then the stage diving into the crowd was good too, even though...
Yeah, that was very Cena-esque WrestleMania 21.
MSG's
I just want to throw that out there.
He's trying to stand up or whatever. It's like, let him have his fun with the fans, This win puts CM Punk, I think, above Cena right now. And now the main event. With The Rock.
The most electrifying match. Anyways. I'm not going to say in WWE history because it wasn't.
Yeah, no. The actual match itself Rock comes out, he starts the match, takes out Miz. Miz comes back in, go tag your boy, blah, blah, blah. First we're thinking, is Cena going to do anything? And then Cena comes in after The Rock hits a fisherman suplex, and he's holding back the referee, so Rock had to give him a nice little talking. Well, I'm just doing my job. He was coming in. It's like, and then, of course, Truth takes out Cena for a good 5 minutes or so. Going for the hot tag, back and forth, whatever. And, of course, The Rock wins for the team.
Yes.
Cena didn't do much. I mean, he got the STFU off.
Hit the 5 moves of doom, not in order.
No.
Rocky got a rock bottom, the spine on the pine, the people's elbow.
And, you know,
it was a really good match. I was impressed at how sharp The Rock looked. I've been telling the people around the house, and no one wanted to listen to me, that The Rock has been in the gym hustling, trying to get ready for this match and trying to get ready for WrestleMania. And a lot of people didn't want to listen to me. A lot of people wanted to just kind of write The Rock off. And, you know, we may not be the biggest supporters of The Rock being in this match, but I knew that when it came to the Garden, he was not going to disappoint. And The Rock did not do that.
And then nothing.
He did not disappoint. What he did do, what everybody in the match did, and I forget who actually tweeted this, one of my friends on Twitter tweeted this, pointed out how horrible Cena's wrestling has gotten. Because a guy that hasn't wrestled full-time in over a decade, and at all in 7 years, plus the 2 heels, outshined him in the ring.
Yes, Cena's first few moves were just, it's like, that's an arm drag, or he did some basic move, and it just looked sloppy to where even I said, I could have done a better job. And that's saying much.
Yeah, Cena was looking pretty bad there. I don't know if he was trying to look bad on purpose to set up the potential heel turn, but whatever it was, John did not look like the poster boy for the company. He did not look like the champ. He wasn't there tonight.
Nope. And then after the match, everyone's thinking, you know, go ahead, Cena, you've got your shot. Now's the nothing.
Another failed attempt. What could have been a big heel turn.
You know,
Vince, I don't get it. If the Garden is the measuring stick for what happens in the WWE, John Cena should have turned heel. Zack Ryder should have become United States champion. And I don't get it.
Me neither. I don't know what Vince is thinking. It's like Renegade said, you know. Now they didn't shake hands or anything, or they didn't give each other, you know, the good old thumbs up or whatever.
There's too much animosity. Cena really despises The Rock. And I think The Rock is kind of indifferent at the end of the day. He's just like, whatever, this Fruity Pebble over here doesn't care for me. Well, fuck him. Who the hell is he? You know?
And he
I think that's kind of The Rock's attitude, but John really despises, from everything that I've read and heard, The Rock.
And he responded with a good old rock bottom to finish the show. In a way, it almost looked like I wanted to see Cena was like saying, okay, you know, I'm going to bow out. This is your moment. It's not me, it's you. Go right ahead.
But Rocky knew he wasn't going to be around for another 4 months except for via satellite, so he had to do something.
So he did, you know.
I really hope The Rock shows up in Hershey, Pennsylvania tomorrow. I highly doubt it, but I really hope he does, to further the storyline or to just have Cena finally make his heel turn.
Yeah, and then we will not see him for TLC probably, and he'll probably show up like a week before the Rumble.
If we're lucky.
If we're lucky.
I wouldn't even sign him a week before the Rumble. I would make him a surprise entrant. I would have Cena come into the Rumble, start cleaning house, eliminating people, have an empty ring.
If you smile.
And have The Rock hit the ring. And just tease, you know, do a few trade punches, maybe set it up. Both men go over the top rope together. Just the battle gets so heated so quickly that both end up eliminating each other, leaving an empty ring for whoever to come out after them.
Next person comes in, sits down for 2 minutes, then we would continue on normally.
So,
that's Survivor.
what do y'all think? Leave us comments. How did you guys like the pay-per-view? How did you guys do with your predictions?
Thanks for all the tweets, guys.
That's right. We will be filming for this week's episodes. First part of your epic rant went up today, and we're already getting some good feedback on it, so be on the lookout for those the rest of the week. And until then, I'm the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams, and we'll see you next time.
Stat Boy out.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Whoever wanted to come into a sports bar where the barkeeps know their game? Well, the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media has got a production just for you. Sit down and relax as the Stat Boy and his partner break down the statistics in all things sports. Whether it's football, basketball, motorsports, baseball, hockey, soccer, professional wrestling, mixed martial arts, boxing, and much, much more. All are welcome. Your barkeep's here. Keep you up to date and in the know of everything going on in sports, while also having a pleasant conversation about it all. Your host and owner of the bar, Stat Boy Mike. His partner in crime, Dory Lou. And a host of other guests coming in. The food's hot, the seats are warm, the drinks are ice cold, and the sports talk is plentiful. Casa D18 Studios presents Stat Boy Sports Bar. Take a bar stool and enjoy the show. The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. This is Chicks on Wrestling, a very special episode dedicating this in memory of Amanda Todd. I am your hostess, Pinky, and you are?
Jade Hogan.
Whew. This subject comes out of a fan question on our YouTube show. I believe it was episode 4 of Chicks on Wrestling. We were asked to discuss about the Amanda Todd situation, a young lady who was born November 27th, 1996 and passed away October 10th, 2012 after being cyberbullied by a grown-ass man. To our younger viewers who are watching, please forgive us of our language, but this is a very touchy and sensitive subject to both Jade and myself. First of all, this is the most disgusting thing I've ever heard in my life. A 15-year-old child takes her life over a grown-ass man because he wanted her to show her boobs on camera. To my young ladies out there who might be doing some camming, stop now while you're ahead. There are some perverts out there that will take what you are giving, innocently. Quick flash, oh yeah, I'll take a picture for him, it ain't gonna be so bad. Nobody else will see but me and him and God. Nah, it's not always true.
Respect your bodies.
Respect yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
On a very serious note here, I've dabbled in some interesting videos in my life. To my adult fans, you know what I'm talking about. I've also done some cam work, taking pictures for various boyfriends, girlfriends, guys and girls that I liked. I felt like showing off my body. I was grown then, but to do it at such a young age, she started cam shows when she was in 7th grade, so I had to put her about 13, 14. Mm-hmm. What the hell? No offense. And please do not take what I'm about to say next, just wrong. What the hell is a 14-year-old baby doing camming with a grown-up? Are you seeking attention? Are you looking for love in all the wrong places? Or you can't say you're just finding yourself, because I found myself at 19 in the porn industry doing movies and photo shoots. Got paid for it, I'm sure. Movies and photo shoots. And then it turned into something that I wasn't ever expecting to find myself in. I did things outside of that, because I felt I was looking and searching for something. My real father was never involved in my life. My stepfather, thank you, Dad, raised me. I was raised with Christian values in my home. I was pretty much sheltered, put in a little box. When I turned about 12, 13, I let that shit loose. I was in foster care at this time. Most of my friends know this, but now you guys do. I was in foster care from the time I was 13 until I was just about 18. My foster mother, I don't know if she's alive or not, Marie Waltz in Inglewood, California, took care of me, made sure I was in school, made sure I went to school, and made sure I did the best that I could be. After leaving her house, I was kind of lost. I didn't have anybody to look out for me. I was 18, I was grown. Couldn't nobody look out for me but me. In the process of being in foster care, I was raped, I was beaten. A lot of bad things happened to me. At 18, I decided I wanted to do something I thought fun with my life. I got involved in porn. Big mistake. Mind you, I protected myself. That was one of the first things I learned. You always protect yourself because you don't know that person that you're sleeping with on camera can be the same motherfucker that gives you AIDS. I was not going to be one of them females. Because of my camming, because of me showing my body, I figured I'm hot, I got it, I can flaunt it. I was subsequently bullied, teased, talked about. I pretty much ran the gamut when it came to that. But I thought in the end I was doing this for me. Not knowing if some sicko, could take my showing off my body because I'm proud of it, to videotaping what he saw and putting it on Facebook for my family and friends to see. For those, I can't believe I'm actually saying this, for those who I have done that to, please forgive me. I was young and stupid, didn't know what the hell I was doing. I thought I was looking for love. I thought I was looking for somebody to love me for who I am. This young girl took her own life at 15 because she did something silly. And I'm not downplaying her death or anything, so please do not take it as that. She did something silly as flash for somebody, expecting them to keep their word and not show that picture or video to anybody. This motherfucker chased her across the country, out of the United States into Canada, followed her on Facebook, and basically threatened her to give him a show. And if she didn't, he would tell the world, he would show the world what she showed him in private. This baby did it anyway, and this motherfucker showed everybody everything she had. She was beaten up in school. She thought this one guy, after the whole fact, liked her. She slept with him. And you can find all this on YouTube, on Amanda Todd's on YouTube, her last one last month. Thought he liked her enough to be with her. And come to find out, he had a girlfriend. The girlfriend found out. The girlfriend and about 10 of her friends goes and finds Amanda, beats her up, to the point where she throws herself in a ditch, wanting to die. Her father finds her, takes her home, patches her up. She drinks bleach because she felt so horrible about what she did. But in the process of all that, the bullying, the phone calls, getting a knock on the door at 4 o'clock in the morning. It better be some dick waiting on me at 4 o'clock in the damn morning. But it's the cops telling Amanda that this joker has blasted her picture all over the place. Makes up a phony Facebook profile with her boobs as the main picture. She was so tormented. She tried to kill herself 4 other times before she finally succeeded on October 10, 2012. All because someone took it upon themselves, to torture this child, basically pushing her to the edge, and she went over the edge. How dare you? What the hell gives you the right to talk about anybody doing anything with themselves, it is not causing physical harm to you or no one around you. To those bullies out there, every last one of y'all need a swift kick in the ass. Somebody hand me a belt quick. Every last one of y'all need an ass whooping. Really? Is this what this fucking world has gone to?
Exactly.
Cyberbullying.
Not only is there children in school that are bullied every day, but now, because we have high technology, they're on the internet doing it too. Yeah, we have our haters on here, but we strive to be better because of them. But there are children that don't know how to do that like we do. They don't know that it's just words, because words hurt. Wounds heal, words stay. There has been numerous times growing up as a disabled person that I was bullied, kicked, hit, knocked out of my chair, called names. That's why I don't walk. Because I was called Charlie Chaplin growing up. Because I had to walk with long leg braces that locked at the knees. And I had to swivel my hips just to walk. And every time I would do that, I'd be walking down the hall and some person that I thought was my friend would go and say that to me. And I'd go home crying every day because I found another person that wasn't my friend, that I thought was, because they were bullies. I got made fun of because of my shoes, because of clothing, because of having blonde hair, blue eyes, and freckles. People out there, kids out there, that are not shown attention and love are killing other kids because of it, because they're bullying them. It is sick. It is not right. And me as a mother will not stand for it. I hate the fact that I know when I send my child to school, there is something that he's going to be picked on for. Whether I shelter him or not, that child's going to be picked on. Because there's a person out there that doesn't give a shit. That wasn't given a shit about. It's sad. It's sad that children are killing themselves because of it.
This is a very, excuse me, touchy subject for the both of us. Me being a black woman who grew up in a Christian household, was, excuse me, told, don't listen, to ungodlike music. Of course I rebelled against that. I have enough bullies because of my first name. For those of you who don't know, my name is Elizabeth Denise Leggett. I was called a lizard bitch, a lizard, everything under the sun because of my name. Just because of my first name. I was bullied because I was short. Had no boobs. Yeah, I know for those who know me. I have them now, but I didn't grow them until I was 13. Started building when I was 10. Anyway. Yeah. Bullied to the point where, no offense, to my viewers, no offense to my boys. I was bullied by this little white boy when I was 12, stuck with a stick pin. Right here. And this is the scar that I have to live with the rest of my life. Stuck me with a stick pin when I was 12 because I had, pretty decent sized knockers, not the 44 double Ds you see now. When the teacher asked why he did it, he gave the most fucked up and funny answer ever. I thought they would deflate. Was his answer. I can laugh at it now.
That is dumb.
That's stupid. I thought they would deflate. Well, justice was served in 2 ways. He was expelled from school immediately, and on his way home, it was handled. I've been bullied because of the size of my body. I'm not your average small on top and big on bottom, or nothing on the bottom and everything on top. I have both and then some. I was bullied because of my hair. I was bullied because of where I came from. Came from Christian household, poor parents, but they did for us, even at the expense of putting their kids aside to take care of other people's kids, which I grew to resent my family for. I was abused as a child. I was beaten as a child. I was raped 7 times. From the time I was 13 to last time was 11 years ago. March 9th will be 12. To the person who did this, to drive Amanda Todd to kill herself at 15, because of your words, your actions, what you've done to this child was snuff out a life that didn't deserve it. Whether or not she showed her boobs is irrelevant. To the chick who beat her up over her boyfriend, your boyfriend cheated on you, you stupid bitch. You need to be beating his fucking ass and shouldn't have touched Amanda. To the kids in her schools that wouldn't leave her alone behind all this, I hope every last one of you can't sleep for the rest of your days. I hope Amanda haunts you forever. To Amanda, I personally wish I'd seen your video before you took yourself out and told you it is not that serious, baby. I've been through what you're going through right now, and I lived.
We both have.
I really wish somebody would have found her and saved her before she took herself out. Because it's not fair. Another baby. I'm 30,
baby.
a beautiful daughter. I'm 37. I could have been her mother. Jay could have been her
I'm
mother.
31 and I could have been.
Breaks my heart. Another life in this world is gone because some asshole drove her to it. I personally don't condone suicide. I've tried it twice.
I've tried it once.
Last time was 5 years ago. For me.
Last time was 8 years ago for me.
I can sympathize where she's coming from. I understand. To anyone else out there that's going through the same thing Amanda went through, if you need anyone to talk to, listen to, or just to share your story, I can be found Facebook.com/Bride, BRIDE of Undertaker. My email address, DARKESHADEELF, darkshadeelf@yahoo.com.
And if you don't want to contact one of us, there are teen lines. There are suicide lines. There are all of those out there to help and to protect you out there that need the help. There's therapy. Just reach out for help.
She did.
There is somebody out there. You might not find them right away, but there is somebody out there.
Bad thing, Jade. She did reach out.
Apparently not far enough, and it sucks.
And not loud enough, because nobody heard her. Nobody heard her. Makes me sad that this world that I grew up in. Sure, there were bullies in my school. I'm only 6 years older than this woman here. Sure, there were bullies in our schools, but we persevered and we got through it. We have people to talk to, even if not our own parents. I'm not close to none of my brothers and sisters, but I've always had my Auntie Tasha. I've always had my Nana. I've always had my Mama Vi. I've always had somebody to go to. If you can't find anybody in this world to go to, look to your family, your closest friends. Reach
to a church.
Church usually helps.
That's how I got over mine. Is I went to church. I found God. It might not be the answer for everybody, but if you're looking for somebody to believe in, other than, your parents or whatever, because you don't think they understand or whatever, God is always there.
I feel that.
I was bullied for even my name, because my last name is Hogan. I was always asked, "Where's your dad? Is your dad gonna come in his limo?" Drove me fucking nuts. Because all I wanted to do was just have a normal childhood without any bullshit. And I couldn't even get that because I was named a certain name. For all the people that pick on people for that, fuck you. Guys are dicks. Get a life. Stop using others for your happiness. Because you're not going to be happy in the end. You're going to be alone.
Rest forever in peace, Amanda Todd.
I love you, baby girl.
This has been Chicks on Wrestling. Special episode. I am your host, Pinky.
I'm your host, Jade Hogan.
We'll see you next time.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Hello pals, Alyssa Marino here, and as a friend of Parker Kane Promotions, I am super excited to share the awesomeness that they've got in store for you this November at WrestleCade. You'll be seeing the world-traveling Capital Championship Wrestling Global Fighting Champ Rebecca J. Scott, a rising star who's been featured on Ladies Night Out, MCW, and more, the stunner Emily J., an internationally traveled talent who you've seen on NXT UK and Stardom, Angel of the Ring Zaya Brookside, And NWA World Women's Tag Team Champion, Chicago's sweetheart Missa Kate, will also be appearing live. It's all going down WrestleCade weekend in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. You can catch these stars brought to you by Parker Kane Promotions on Saturday, November 25th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And be sure to stick around for Ladies' Night Out the following day on Sunday, November 26th. You can get your WrestleCade weekend tickets at WrestleCade.com.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from NoDQ.com.
Hey everyone, welcome to NoDQ&A video here on NoDQ.com. I am the owner of NoDQ, Aaron Rift. Hell in the Cell, Heck in the Cell, whatever you want to call it. It's this coming Sunday, and we got a lot to talk about. We got your questions, so let's get right down to it. With David Otunga forming some kind of alliance with Ziggler, Vicky, Swagger, and Christian on Raw, do you see this being the new NWO, or is this a new Nexus alliance? I would have thought it would be Nash and Awesome Truth starting the new NWO. Your thoughts? Basically, I think the whole NWO thing took a life of its own. Kevin Nash came out to the NWO music several weeks ago, and it jump-started the rumors, it lit a fire, and I'm not really sure there's a whole lot to it. I don't think that there's some kind of faction forming. I think the whole storyline on Raw right now is basically all the wrestlers are protesting against Triple H as COO. They want him to resign, and maybe they're going to sue, maybe they're going to go on strike. We're just going to have to see how it plays out over the next several weeks, but it doesn't look like they're forming a stable. It looks like they're just using this whole storyline with the wrestlers getting upset as a way to possibly bring back Vince McMahon and do some kind of power struggle storyline between Vince and Triple H. So that's where I see it going at this point. Triple H, he's not going to resign or anything like that. So we'll see what happens. Maybe they'll change plans because, you know, Vince McMahon got upset a few weeks ago when... or last week when Alberto Del Rio mentioned his name on Raw and, you know, possibly gave away the whole storyline. But with WWE, plans can always change at a moment's notice. So I don't know what's going to happen, but that's what it's looking like at this point, that Vince McMahon returns and not any kind of faction forming or anything like that. Hey Aaron, what did you think about the 2000 film Ready to Rumble with David Arquette and WCW? Terrible movie. When I watched that movie, I was just embarrassed to be a wrestling fan. It was not good at all. And, I mean, DDP was okay, but, man, oh, God, that movie was just brutal. Just brutal. Michael Hayes said if the Freebirds were ever going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, it would be during WrestleMania 27 in Atlanta. Do you think he was wrong and that the Freebirds will be inducted sooner or later? Well, keep in mind that Michael Hayes has a lot of input in WWE. He's backstage. He's got some power. He's got some stroke. So I think it's only a matter of time before the Freebirds get in the Hall of Fame. I think it will happen eventually. Just it's a matter of time. And yeah, I don't. Under normal circumstances, I'd be surprised if they got in, but because Michael Hayes is there and part of WWE and he's an employee for all these years, or independent contractor, whatever you want to call it, I think there's a good chance they'll get in down the line. Why do you think Rikishi never really caught on after getting that huge rub of being Austin's assailant? Was it just because fans dug too much into him as a face and didn't want to see him turn heel? Well, that was a period when WWE really started to, you know, we talk about on NoDQ&A video about how WWE doesn't do the long-term planning, and I think that's a period where they really started hot-shotting things, and it really felt like they just had a bunch of names in a hat, and they picked Rikishi, and he just ended up being the guy. It made absolutely no sense, and yeah, it was a bad idea because the fans were really into his whole gimmick with Too Cool, And I think they broke that team up way too soon. And Rikishi really lost his steam when he turned heel. It just wasn't what people wanted to see. So, and, you know, they turned him face several months later, but it just wasn't the same for him. It took away all of his momentum that he had. Yeah, that just wasn't a good idea. Hey, Aaron, what were your thoughts on Shawn Michaels' entrance at WrestleMania 12? Spectacular. It was one of the, most spectacular entrances in WWE history, and it's always played on the clips when they show the video packages. Just classic WrestleMania moment right there. Hey, Aaron, love the show. Do you see a Lita return, and could it be bigger than another Trish return? Lita always seemed to be left out in the WWE lately. Well, I think that's a matter of choice. I think both Lita and Trish Stratus are happy doing other things right now. They had their run 6-7 years, and when you're a diva, you know, it's all about cosmetics and looks. So you have more of a shelf life than the male wrestlers do. So I guess they just figured that, you know, after 6-7 years that it was their time to move on. They made their money, they made their name. So there wasn't anything else left to prove or do. So I mean, there's always a possibility that they could return. I mean, Trish has come back on a small time basis, and Lita's made a few appearances here and there, but I think they're happy doing other things right now. Do you know where the Imposter Kane storyline was going to go? If not, where do you think it would have went? I think I think the whole idea of it was to promote Kane for the See No Evil movie, and they wanted to do some kind of interesting storyline with him. I don't think there was any long-term plans for it. They did that one match, and it was just a terrible match, and that was it. There wasn't anything else to it. It was just, you know, publicity for Kane's movie. I think that was all it was designed to be. Hey, Aaron, what did you think about XPW? Oh boy. XPW, it was what it was. It was basically a ripoff of ECW. It was trying to capitalize on the success of ECW and try to have a West Coast version of it. The matches, you know, wasn't much to it. It was just, you know, hardcore matches and lots of blood, lots of violence, and it's entertaining to a degree, but it wasn't really going to go anywhere. It was just, you know, this small independent fed doing a knockoff of ECW. Just all there was to it. Why isn't Bruno Sammartino in the Hall of Fame? Once again, it's by choice. Bruno does not want to be in the Hall of Fame. He has been very outspoken against WWE. He does not like the direction that wrestling has gone since Vince McMahon Jr. took over and made wrestling mainstream, made it cartoonish, made it edgy, had the R-rated stuff. Just Bruno doesn't feel he belongs in he doesn't want to be associated with the product, period. And that includes being in the Hall of Fame. So he's definitely at the top of the list of guys that should be in, that aren't in, but at this point it seems highly unlikely. Never say never, but I would be surprised if he ends up in the Hall of Fame. Hey Aaron, how come for the past 10 years there really hasn't been an exciting Hell in a Cell match? I mean, they never go outside the cell, they always stay in it. And also, how come there hasn't been another 6-man Hell in a Cell? The last one was my favorite. Well, to my knowledge, there was only one 6-man Hell in a Cell. And yeah, that was a great match. The thing with Hell in a Cell is, yeah, you can't go outside the ring, and now with blood especially, that even makes it more pointless in doing Hell in a Cell matches. I think really they should have stopped when the company decided to go PG, because you already have enough limitations as it is in terms of not going outside the ring. Because the thing was, several years ago, everyone was always expecting a big bump. You know, Shawn Michaels and Mick Foley set the standards for it. You bought the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view expecting carnage and possibly somebody being thrown off the cell, and it just didn't happen. And it watered down the match a little bit because people's expectations were so high, and the matches could never really deliver. And then especially when you took blood away, what do you have? You just have a giant cage, and the guys don't even use it really. It's pointless. Yeah, really, they should just get rid of it. All right, that about does it for NoDQ&A video here on NoDQ.com. Check out NoDQForums.com. We have a NoDQ&A forum if you would like to submit a question. I'll answer it via text, or maybe I'll even talk about it on the video show. Also, please subscribe, youtube.com/NoDQ&AV. Keep spreading the word. Things are going really well in terms of subscriber counts going up, and I just really appreciate all the support from you guys. So keep it up, and we'll see you next time for No DQ&A video.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
You ever wanted to come into a sports bar where the barkeeps know their game? Well, the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse Media has got a production just for you. Sit down and relax as the stat boy and his partner break down the statistics in all things sports. Whether it's football, basketball, motorsports, baseball, hockey, soccer, professional wrestling, mixed martial arts, boxing, and much, much more. All are welcome. Your barkeep's here. Keep you up to date and in the know of everything going on in sports, while also having a pleasant conversation about it all. Your host and owner of the bar, Stat Boy Mike. His partner in crime, Dory Lou. And a host of other guests coming in. The food's hot, the seats are warm, the drinks are ice cold, and the sports talk is plentiful. Casa D18 Studios presents Stat Boy Sports Bar. Take a bar stool and enjoy the show. The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
my internet fans. How's it going? And what's up? It's another episode of Stat Boy Rants. This is episode 36. And as always, the rants on this show are Stat Boy approved. Yay. First, let's get a little bit of business out of hand. I finally had a winner in a challenge I did almost 20 episodes ago. The Stat Boy Words with Friends challenge, where I said if anybody can beat me, the best of 5 out of Words with Friends, they got a t-shirt. Well, we got a winner. Jonathan D., Worcester, Massachusetts. Good job. You beat me. Fair and square. 3 games to 1. So your shirt is on the way. All that I ask is you take a picture of yourself with it and post it to the Stat Boy Rants fan page. Then I'll put it in the album, and you're part of the Stat Boy Rants family, which is all of 85 people, I guess. That's how many people like the page, but only like 6 of us have actual t-shirts because demand isn't very high right now. And thank you, Renegade, for wearing my shirt on the last show too, by the way. I heard about that. I heard that Jade actually called
that episode hasn't aired yet, by the way.
Oh, well, it will. Apparently, it's a bit of a spoiler, but apparently I get mentioned in that episode and Renegade rips into Jade, so way to go on that one.
That episode was Stat Boy approved.
Yes, it was, absolutely. Alright, so Jonathan beat me, fair and square. I think I only have like 1 extra large Stat Boy approved shirt left. So if you want to try and win it, hit me up on Words with Friends. Whatever. Today's episode is going to be a partial continuation of the last episode. I kind of hinted on Twitter I was going to do another comparison at LBStatKid1977. Follow me on Twitter. Last episode I compared Shawn to Triple H. Today it's going to be John Cena and The Rock. Who is better? Let the comments flood. Same format, you know, comparing left and right, so let's just get right into it. John Cena made his debut 2002 against Kurt Angle, of course. Remember, this is only WWE stuff. Yes, he was in UPW as the prototype. He actually got the UPW title for a bit. He was featured in a UPW documentary that I've seen with Looney Lane was in it as well, and that was our first look at prototype John Cena. But as far as WWE, 2002 was his debut, and he's been pretty much going ever since. He hasn't stopped except for injuries, which I'll touch on later. So right now,
this is John Cena's 10th year at the company.
10 years. Long time. 10 years straight. The Rock made his debut in Survivor Series 1996. But he left in 2004 to go make the movies, and then he pops up sporadically since then. So 10 years straight as opposed to 16 years with the company, but sporadic. I give the edge to Cena on that one. To go 10 years straight and only having to leave twice due to injury, point Cena. Like I say, it's gonna be a touch and go for The Rock, literally, because he literally touches, gets his paycheck, and goes and makes more movies. Believe me, that'll be talked about. Championship-wise, Cena has 20 total accomplishments, 10 WWE championships, 2 World Heavyweight titles, 3 US titles, 2 World Tag Team Championships, and 2 WWE Tag Team Championships, and he won the Rumble in 2008. 10, 12, 15, 18, 21, 21. 10, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. No, 20. 18, 15, 20. The Rock, 2-time World Heavyweight Champion. One was as WCW, one was WWE. So he's held the big gold belt twice. 7 WWE Championships. 2 times IC, 5 World Tag Team Championships. And he won the Royal Rumble back in early 2000. 2000 actually. But of course, the whole Rock Big Show thing, you know, that could be controversy in itself. So that gives Rock 7, 9, 11, 16, 17 accomplishments.
And if you want to add it, he made it to the finals of the King of the Ring tournament. Didn't win, but he made it to the finals.
17 and a half. So Cena gets the point in championships. I mean, 10-time WWE champion. You know, that's the big piece of the pie there. As far as injuries go, like I said, The Rock, I couldn't find any major injuries. I mean, like, there was a storyline where The Rock got beat up by, I think, Taker and Kane or somebody. He had a concussion. That doesn't count. I mean, an injury is when you got to go off and go under the knife, which Cena has done twice. Of course, he tore his pec off the bone in 2007. A year later, he herniated a disc in his neck for 2008, and he was gone for a while. So The Rock takes care of himself. So Rock gets that point, you know. Like I say, the little stuff, you know, the nagging knee pain, the tennis elbow, the headaches, that stuff doesn't count because they work through it. So Cena gets that. Rock gets that. As far as WrestleMania goes, both The Rock and Cena, when they fight each other this year, it'll be their 9th WrestleMania between them. They both have appeared at 9. Cena has won 6. Rock has won 4. Cena defeated The Big Show at WrestleMania 20. Defeated JBL at 21. Defeated Triple H at 22. Defeated Shawn at 23. He was in the Triple Threat at 24 and got pinned. So that counts as a loss. He defeated Edge and Big Show at 25. He defeated Batista at 26 and lost to The Miz. 6 wins. Hey Diesel, what's up? And these are all. And the only match that really sucked was against Batista. I mean, Batista was on his way out of the company anyway, so you know, one little ding on that. So those are all good matches. And like I say, 3 of them were for titles. The Rock, on the other hand, defeated the Sultan at 13, which was a joke. Defeated Ken Shamrock at 14, a little better. Lost to Stone Cold at 15, that was his first big WrestleMania match. He was in the Fatal 4-Way at 2000, losing to Triple H. Counts as a loss. Lost to Stone Cold again at 17, so that's 3 straight losses. Had the epic match with Hogan at 18, which he won, big match. Finally defeated Stone Cold at 19, big match. And teamed up with Foley to lose to Evolution at 20. Hasn't done anything since. Came back at 27 to host. Yes?
24 to induct his family in the Hall of Fame.
24 in the Hall of Fame. That's it. 4 and 4. So as far as WrestleMania goes, Cena gets the point on that one too.
Wouldn't it be 4-3-1 because he didn't take the fall in the Evolution match?
You could say that. He still lost the match, but he didn't get pinned. So you could say it's 4 and 4 or 4-3-1, whichever you want. Either way, Cena still gets the accomplishment on that one. And as far as the fan bases go, you know, Cena's got the mixed the mix with the fans. Rock, since he's come back, I've yet to hear some boos, so I'll give Rock the point for that one. And if you saw Raw with the rap concert and the rock concert, you know, Cena went back to his basic thugonomics, which I was happy to see, because we have been saying here at Casa D18 that he needs to do that. He needs to go back to his roots, you know. And it might make the heel turn a lot more easier than that. The fans still love The Rock because he's back. And then, of course, they'll probably hate him when he's gone because he's off doing Hollywood stuff again. Yes, Diesel? You want your 2 cents? Come here. Come here, you! Who do you like better? You like The Rock? Do you like John Cena? Huh? Want to sit here for a few minutes? I'm fine with that. Okay, go on. Good boy. Let's see, what else? As far as the rap concert goes, though, the only problem was, you know, Cena dropped the bomb, the chicken shit. I kind of had a problem with that. Because, you know, that could lead to a whole firestorm of some kind by a whole bunch of parents. It's like, You know, what if your kid, you know, you're sitting at the dinner table, you know, and mom and dad tell the kid to eat their vegetables. And the kid looks defiantly at their parents and says, no, I don't want you to eat chicken shit. It's like, whoa, where did you learn that? John Cena. He called The Rock a chicken shit. And he called him a kung pao bitch. You know, that's the only issue I had with that. You know, you gotta. It could have been the heat of the moment thing. I seriously doubt that Vince knew that Cena was going to do that. You know, because that's not PG. Swearing is not PG. Swearing is R. You know, swearing makes a lot of things fun. You know, because you get that oh factor. You know, and stuff like that. But you know, when the kids are involved, you know, you gotta bite your tongue, especially at wrestling events. I mean, when we went to the Y event, I mean, the people at the Y, I'm pretty sure they said, you know, make it squeaky clean, no swearing. Of course, you're at a wrestling event where violence is involved, and it's like, you're gonna have a squeaky clean wrestling event. Yeah, I'd like to see that one. On The Rock's end, you know, I like it when The Rock plays his guitar. You know, I like the previous rock stuff with the guitar, like when he went to Long Island and he called it Skank Island. That was funny. You know, when he was at Staples Center, and I don't remember the basketball teams, but whenever the Lakers play in May, there was something about that. That was funny. When The Rock was officially heel, you know, and all that. In fact, I want to find how to play those riffs or those chords that he played just to try and copy it on my guitar. But calling out Cena's mom, that's another diss you shouldn't do. You shouldn't call out people's moms unless, you know, I mean, that's kind of, I mean, what if we all diss The Rock's mom? We know who The Rock's mom is. We've seen her on the documentaries. She seems like a nice person. Why would you want to go and diss someone's mom? It's pointless, and it's so 80s. Especially if you live in the ghetto. Because if you live in the ghetto, everybody's mom gets talked about at some point. So, like I said, statistic-wise, Cena is better than Rock. Personally, right now, in my opinion, I like Cena better than The Rock, only because The Rock is off doing movies that I'm really not going to. Yes, Renegade?
Why don't you compare their acting?
Okay. Cena did The Marine. Cena did Legendary. The Rock is okay. So The Rock has a ton of more movies. Of course, The Rock did Doom, so we all know that story is out the window. Journey 2, like I'm not gonna go see that. Scorpion King, Mummy Returns, Be Cool, Walking Tall. Let's see, what else did he do? There was one more in there that I'm missing. Escape to Witch Mountain, that's in there. So The Rock is a temporal. Oh yeah, and the god awful Tooth Fairy. Need I say more? So Cena's only done 2 movies. Rock has done 4 movies. What are the other 2?
12 Rounds.
Oh yeah, I forgot 12 Rounds.
And The Reunion.
Haven't seen The Reunion.
But it's out. And don't forget his cameo in Ready to Rumble.
Yeah, you have to freeze frame that one. Okay, so Rock has done more movies, and he probably gets paid more than Cena, so if you want to give The Rock a point on that one unofficially, go right ahead. But still, Cena's better than Rock, personally. And that's what I'm going to say about, I'm going to say about that. So, as far as this little debate, it's pretty much done. Go ahead and leave all the comments in there. I'm going to try and do 2 more. I might do Trips and Taker, even though I already compared Trips to Shawn. I might do Trips and Taker just because of the whole. It's a big match. Definitely, yes. I will do Punk and Jericho. That's in there. I know for a fact I'm not going to do Sheamus and Bryan because let's face it, Bryan is 10 times better than Sheamus no matter what. They're both too new to compare. I mean, Sheamus has been in the company about maybe 3-4 years. Bryan has been in the business a while because of independent stuff, but he's only been WWE about 1.5 to 2 years, so there's really not much of a comparison yet. Okay? Upcoming, we're going to be going out on a little family trip, so look for us. Is that news up yet, or no? Okay, so I can go ahead and plug that?
It doesn't make sense to plug it because by the time they see yours, it'll probably be too late. Yours goes up the day we're going to be out.
Good point. Well, watch the previous shows and you'll figure out what I'm talking about. Anyway, WrestleMania is 3 weeks away?
Less than.
2 weeks away. Yeah, 2
Closer
weeks
to 2.
Closer to 2. We'll be tweeting live during the event. We'll be on Facebook, you know. We're probably going to do the prediction show in 2 weeks. And what I'd like to see us do is, while everybody is still here after the event, we just turn on every possible camera we can, and we just all start talking about it. We have one big Casa D18 post-WrestleMania review. Jaden and Dylan will be sitting over there. Jeff, Tyler, and Bruce will be sitting over here, and Renegade. I'll be sitting in my corner, and you know, one big one, and I'll just throw out "it sucked" every 5 seconds. Okay, so we're done. Statboy 36 is in the can. Let's hear those comments, and we'll see you next week. Statboy out.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Hello pals, Alyssa Marino here, and as a friend of Parker Kane Promotions, I am super excited to share the awesomeness that they've got in store for you this November at WrestleCade. You'll be seeing the world-traveling Capital Championship Wrestling Global Fighting Champ Rebecca J. Scott, a rising star who's been featured on Ladies Night Out, MCW, and more, the stunner Emily J., an internationally traveled talent who you've seen on NXT UK and Stardom, Angel of the Ring Zaya Brookside, and NWA World Women's Tag Team Champion Chicago's Sweetheart Missa Kate will also be appearing live. It's all going down WrestleCade weekend in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. You can catch these stars brought to you by Parker Kane Promotions on Saturday, November 25th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And be sure to stick around for Ladies Night Out the following day on Sunday, November 26th. You can get your WrestleCade weekend tickets at WrestleCade.com.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
This is James Morgan, NWA and Mach 1 Wrestling Superstar.
This is Chris Masters, the Masterpiece.
This is Downtown Bruno.
This is Eric Watts from WWE Tough Enough.
Mikey Nova.
Hey, what's up? This your boy, Sean Black.
This is Jess Bella from Santino Brothers.
Gorgeous Joey Chaos.
Yo, monkeys, it's me, DDP, Diamond Dallas Page, and you are watching Dads on Wrestling.
It's the Dads on Wrestling.
Dads on Wrestling.
Dads on Wrestling.
On YouTube.
Week on YouTube.
On YouTube.
On YouTube.
On YouTube. Now stay tuned or you will feel the bang!
Finally, the dads on wrestling have come back to Staples Center. Wrong break one, sorry. Yeah, I gotta walk off.
When you walk up on your own shit, that's where it's failed, dude.
Yeah.
Seriously.
You know, I couldn't resist it. We're standing here next to the great one, Wayne Gretzky.
I don't care what my dad says, the greatest hockey player to ever play the game.
We'll get a little bit of crap from the cameraman on that one.
Gordie Howe. Eclipsed all his records. Every one of them.
But this is not a hockey show.
It's not, but
it's a wrestling show, and we're still in the shadows of the Staples
61
Center.
61 NHL records. I'm just throwing that out there.
We are still in the shadows of Staples Center.
Yes, we are.
They are still setting up for the X Games behind us.
It's taken a week and a half to set up these damn X Games. They are never going to finish. By the time they finish, it's going to be SummerSlam.
Seriously. But
I bet you they'll be setting it up next week, too.
Yeah, you know,
I bet
just
you.
maybe. So again, we apologize for the background noise.
We're not apologize for them, their noises, and being the figures end again.
All right, SummerSlam 1996.
I wore this for a reason because he was half of the double main event. The Boiler Room Brawl.
Epic match.
First of its kind. It took 2 days to do this match, and you're thinking, wait a minute, they wrestled for 24 hours? No. As revealed in the McFoley book, Have a Nice Day, available in your bargain bookstores everywhere these days, because it's the first one.
Right.
Paperback, baby. Although I have the hardcover.
So do I.
Baby. They filmed the Boiler Room segment the day before with no commentary, no nothing except brutal noises from both of them falling on shit. And then the following day they resumed, and it was the big thing we'd been expecting since King of the Ring that year. The turn of Paul Bearer. First time Paul Bearer had been heel against The Undertaker.
Yes.
And just an amazing, basically Mick Foley said it best, they were basically just getting started between those two.
Yeah.
Because we went on to Survivor Series, Buried Alive, Hell in a Cell after
this. We
this.
don't need to say any more after that.
Exactly.
Seriously.
And then you had the main event, which I still get bugged by this main event of Shawn Michaels and Vader because it took 3 falls for this match to end. Honestly, if they'd have been smart, they'd have booked it where people are shitting on Shawn anyway as champion. Let Vader win the damn belt.
True, he was already WCW champion.
But they didn't count that back then.
This is true, but I'm just saying he had already proven the fact that he could carry the company. Why not put the strap on him, even if it was just a transitional one?
Well, carrying WCW in 1993 is a lot different than carrying WWF in 1996.
Not much different. Dusty Rhodes said it himself. When the WCW was beating WWF in the ratings, it was between 96 and 98. Who was the champion during 96, 98? Exactly.
Right.
So.
And people blame Shawn for that, which, as we all know, is a big crock of shit, but, you know, whatever.
1997.
Another Undertaker classic with Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yes, which I didn't even have on. Oh, yes, I did.
The WWF Championship match. It's the last match of the night.
I also had Triple H versus Mankind in the steel cage.
Yes,
where he rips his shirt to reveal the dude left tattoos.
Did the elbow off the second tier of the cage.
Yep. And then Austin versus Owen.
That mess.
Austin versus Owen for the IC title, changing for the 500th time.
In the infamous match where Austin got hurt and led to the end of his career.
Which led to the t-shirt that I had to search for on eBay.
Owen 316.
Owen 316 says I just broke your neck.
Brutal, man. We're trying to talk a little bit louder, Jay, just so you know. It's getting crazy back there. 1998,
Yes.
Another Undertaker
My
classic.
very first SummerSlam. Now we get into stuff that I can actually like really get in depth about. Like I know some of the stuff we've been talking about. I can throw my 2 cents in for most of it. But this is the part now where I can really get in depth. And it's sad that one of the notes that I made, probably one of the worst matches on the card, but it's a note that I had to make, and that is X-Pac versus Jeff Jarrett, hair versus hair. And the reason I made a note of this is because in the history of hair versus hair matches, I think Jeff Jarrett's like the only person I can think of that lost a hair versus hair match, and to this day has kept his hair short.
Yep. He had a little bit longer briefly in TNA before,
for like a couple of
months, but for the most part, he's kept his hair pretty short. But again, if it was a hair versus hair match, that match should have been bald.
True.
It was
true,
like,
but just the fact that somebody 13 years later is keeping to the hair versus hair match that he lost for another company that he admittedly didn't care to work for.
Right.
That's a testament to the work ethic and the dedication of Jeff Jarrett, who always catches a ton of crap. So that's why I made that as a note.
I'll be interested to see if our boy Pretty Peter Avalon does the same thing, whether he keeps his hair short for the next NWA tapings or not.
Triple H and The Rock in the ladder match
for the
IC title, where yet again
the IC championship changed hands, but it was more than that. This was the ladder match we've been waiting for 4 years.
This was beauty.
This was a ladder match in every sense of the word. This was what Shawn and Razor couldn't be because of the era it was in.
This is very true, and what the Hardys and Edge and Christian eclipsed a year later.
This is true. And then you had just awesome stuff. You had the Undertaker and Austin for the WWF Championship, another epic match.
Another epic fail of a match, but a note that must be pointed out is Edge and Sable versus Mark Merrow and Jacqueline.
Not so much a
pay-per-view debut.
Not so much a fail because Edge went his pay-per-view debut. They had to get him in the pay-per-view somewhere.
Look at the people he's in the match.
I understand that, but
the dude that dressed like Little Richard.
For all a fail that Mark Merrow and Sable was, and to be fair, by then he was just a Little Richard. He was really Mark Merrow by then. For all that was, it was still one of the hottest feuds in the company. And they put Edge in the middle of all that, and Sable and Edge get the win with the double team move. It was freaking awesome.
1999.
1999. A little bit of a fail SummerSlam, in my opinion. You had some really corny matches. You had the Unholy Alliance against X-Pac and Kane for the World Tag Team Championship. I know you didn't. Undertaker and Big Show against X-Pac and Kane. Not the greatest match in tag team title history. You had the Kiss My Ass match between your boy The Rock and Billy Gunn.
Didn't even have a note of that.
With that.
Knowing I was going to be wearing The Rock's shirt, I did not even make a note of that.
With that hideous woman getting her butt kissed by Billy Gunn. That was.
The notes that I did have.
Go for it.
Jeff Jarrett over D'Lo Brown to become only the second ever Eurocontinental champion, in which, again, the curse of the IC title changes hands.
And thanks to Mark Henry, I might add.
Test over Shane in the Lover or Leave Her Greenwich Street fight.
The first real Shane McMahon leap of faith.
This is true. And then, of course, son of a biscuit and gravy.
Party foul.
And then you got Mankind over Austin and Trips for the title.
With Governor
Jesse
Ventura
as the referee. And I'm noticing a pattern here. He was the referee in 88. He was the referee in 99. Any chance of him being referee in 11? Seems like he always manages to pop up as a referee in double numbers, except for 2000. Probably because that would have been a little too close back to back.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens come next week. Whenever this, I don't even know this is going on. To be honest, I don't know. 2000 was
Let's see if you can get the notes I've got, because I've got 3 of them.
Yeah, please go for it. Go for it.
I want to see if you can guess.
Okay, TLC.
Yes. The very first ever TLC, gotta have that.
Although, if you really want to think about it, the first TLC match was not called TLC. It was Triangle Ladder at WrestleMania. Down the road, down the 5, and I was there, baby.
This is very true. Technically, that was the first TLC, but it was not called TLC. So therefore, this is the first TLC.
That's right. So for all the crap I get about not being here for SummerSlam 2 years ago, I was at WrestleMania before anybody in this group. So fuck y'all.
So that's one note I got. Okay. What are my other 2?
Triple threat for the title.
Yes.
In which Kurt Angle busted his head.
Yes.
To the point where
botched pedigree through the announce table. Goes backstage on the stretcher, comes back out mid-match.
Which again was all part of the plan, but nobody knew for sure, nobody knew for real outside of the three people in the match and Earl Hebner that Kurt was really fucked up.
This is true. I mean, I believe that him returning and being sent out was part of the plan, but the table collapsing early definitely was not.
Definitely not.
And then, what's the last one I got? Come on, think.
I'm trying to remember the card. It's been so long.
Come on.
Undertaker Kane in that botch finish.
That is not it.
Okay.
Chris Jericho versus Chris Benoit, 2 out of 3 falls.
I didn't say that because I've been well trained the last 4 years.
Walk off. I'm going to talk about 01 without you. You're going to ignore Chris Benoit and succumb to Vince McMahon's decree. I'm going to boot you off for 2001. 2001 had the first WWF versus WCW unification. X-Pac and Tajiri. You had RVD and Jeff Hardy in a ladder match for the hardcore title. Epic match. I know Jeff is Mr. RVD, and I, of course, used to be a Hardy guy, but that gimmick is long dead. You had the Brothers of Destruction over DDP and Canyon in a cage match for both titles. And that's about all I think about 2001. Even the main event to me, which is kind of weak. Come on in now, because I know you got a couple things you want to throw in there, but...
I will agree with you in the fact that the two main events were fail. You had Angle over Austin by disqualification after 3 referees got taken out, and the Alliance referee, good old Nick Patrick, calls for the DQ, and then you have Booker T and The Rock for the WCW Championship. Close the show. So you have the WCW Championship close the WWE pay-per-view.
Yeah. It was the great one. That's what it all came down to. The Rock was the biggest draw at the time, even a bigger draw than Austin.
I would have rather seen the Stanley Cup than I would have seen that match for the WCW Championship.
2002.
Another great SummerSlam.
We were talking about this match last night and how you were dissing anything of Rey Mysterio's post 1999, and I brought up the Kurt Angle Rey Mysterio feud, which kicked off SummerSlam.
Yes.
And I brought up the Matt Hardy Rey Mysterio feud, which culminated in winning the Cruiserweight title from Matt Hardy in Anaheim, which I was there at. But that was the whole story.
The whole story, that's right.
But you got Kurt Angle and Rey Mysterio. You got Edge and Eddie.
Yep.
You got Rob Van Dam and Chris Benoit for the IC title. Again,
the only match I've seen to date where Rob lost his damn ponytail. That's how intense that match was.
Shawn versus Trips in the unsanctioned street fight, and the dawn of what was supposed to be a new era.
The next big thing. The era of the next big thing had arrived, or so we thought.
Yep.
Or so we thought.
We were proved wrong a couple years later at WrestleMania, but that's a whole other set of episodes that we did.
The Rock gets booed out of the Nassau Coliseum. Rock takes it all, much to the delight of the Nassau Coliseum fans.
Yeah.
And then we move into SummerSlam 2003 with Brock.
Which is the last one for this episode.
Yes, sir. Against Kurt Angle.
Yes. Brock and Kurt Angle. Middle of the card.
Well, but then again, you had the Elimination Chamber that night. That's why.
I know, but I'm just saying, look at how quickly he fell from grace. He went from being the main event against The Rock, becoming the youngest WWE champion in history, to the middle of the card at SummerSlam the next year, to being gone after WrestleMania the year prior. How quickly the mighty fall.
Yep. And then you had the Elimination Chamber match where Triple H dominated. I don't care what anybody says about Goldberg came in and Triple H owned that bald-headed ass right there, baby. I loved every minute of it.
And I'm so glad that he did, because I've kind of been on the fence about Goldberg in the past. You know, I think the time he came and what he tried to do to help save WCW and the story they pushed behind him was epic. Could not help but get behind that. However, trying to duplicate that success in Vince McMahon's WWE, and it just was not going to happen. You've got too many people in that company that you bashed openly, not just on the internet, but on TV talk shows that are now in power. You were not going to have the same success.
The main problem with
and he wants to bitch about how Vince McMahon didn't book him right. I'm sorry. You went on to like freaking Jay Leno or David Letterman and talked shit about Triple H.
And Stone Cold.
You're not going to get pushed, buddy. I'm sorry.
And on top of that, you know, granted, they did botch his push by putting him in the Goldust wig a week later. you know what? Oh well. Tough shit.
And then the only other match I've got from 2003 is the United States title. Eddie, Benoit, Rhino, and Tajiri Fatal 4-Way.
I'm not a fan of 4-ways, 3-ways, whatever matches. That shit was good.
That was very good.
It was very... Alright, we're going to move on. Like I said, I guarantee this is going to be going on next week, dude. It's taking forever to get the X Games set up.
It's the freaking X Games. I mean, it's extreme. It takes forever to set it up, and they just freaking demolish it in like 2 days.
We all know how things extreme take forever to get over. It's the way it is. So, we will see you back here with more SummerSlam reviews.
Next week. See you then.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
You ever wanted to come into a sports bar where the barkeeps know their game? Well, the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media has got a production just for you. Sit down and relax as the Stat Boy and his partner break down the statistics in all things sports. Whether it's football, basketball, motorsports, baseball, hockey, soccer, professional wrestling, mixed martial arts, boxing, and much, much more. All are welcome. Your barkeeps here keep you up to date and in the know of everything going on in sports, while also having a pleasant conversation about it all. Your host and owner of the bar, Stat Boy Mike. His partner in crime, Dory Lou. And a host of other guests coming in. The food's hot, the seats are warm, the drinks are ice cold, and the sports talk is plentiful. Casa D18 Studios presents Stat Boy Sports Bar. Take a bar stool and enjoy the show. The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from NoDQ.com.
Greetings to everyone out there in the NoDQ galaxy. Welcome to the NoDQ review here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/AaronRift NoDQ. On NoDQ Live, I had joked about banning Virtue from the NoDQ review, and he took offense to that. He decided to protest. He's like, you know what? You cannot fire me because I quit, that sort of thing. He's not here, obviously. In his place, though, I did make a phone call, and joining us tonight from south of the border, we have El Virtuoso back on the No DQ review. How is it going, Senor?
Hey, what's up? And this isn't the first time I've had to be on the show because of issues with Virtue, but I am in Mexico City hanging out with Rey Mysterio Jr. before he has to go back to the WWE, and it is awesome, Aaron Rift. Thank you for having me on. I just need to know two things. Who are these cats? Not the ones in your house, these other guys.
Right. Well, I was about to get to that, so let me introduce his return to No DQ review after a vacation in Germany. Welcome back, Big G. How's it going, man?
What's going on, guys? Glad to be back here on the review. First time with El Virtuoso, TJS. Good to see you again. Aaron, good to see you again. Had long flights back to Germany and back to the States, but I am here.
Did you stop to Spain?
Unfortunately, I did not.
Oh, okay, whatever.
Unfortunately, I did not.
All right, and we got TGS here with us, too. How's it going, man?
Yeah. Well, Jeff, I know how you feel, man, with the whole jet lag. When I went over to Japan, it was like a 13-hour flight, just 13 hours of being in the air. I mean, I'd rather watch Raw for 13 hours, and that's saying a lot. But Raw was good this week. It was noteworthy. We got a very loaded week in news, so let's talk about it. Take it away, Mr. Rift.
All right, so on Raw this week, we had the latest reunion of D-Generation X, so it is official. Shawn Michaels is coming out of retirement at the upcoming Crown Jewel show in Saudi Arabia. So the question is, do you guys like the DX reunion, or do you think they would be better off just being a team without the DX gimmick? And you could just give me your overall thoughts on Shawn wrestling again and the whole match that has now been set up for Crown Jewel on November 2nd. So, TJS, let's start with you. Your thoughts.
Well, going into this, I was not a big fan of Shawn coming out of retirement. But now that I've thought about it, and now that Shawn actually gave a good reason about how he does not respect The Undertaker, and he pretty much just doesn't give a damn, I think it's okay for him to come out of retirement. And I think, as much as I want him to just do singles matches, I think he has to be a part of DX for this because, as DX, they're the rule breakers, and he's not honoring his retirement anymore because he's in DX, and he's just like, Triple H is the boss, we can just do what we want. So I guess I'm okay with it. I don't think the match is going to be spectacular, but, maybe this opens up the door for Shawn to work other matches. I read on NoDQ.com that he could be working WrestleMania 35. We'll see what happens. Big G, what do you think?
Man, you just took the words right out of my mouth. I'm glad that Shawn Michaels is coming out. Like you said on Raw last night, he doesn't respect The Undertaker anymore. Triple H doesn't respect The Undertaker anymore. And as soon as I heard those three words, "Are you ready?" I was like, yes, I am ready for another DX reunion. Always been a big fan of DX. So to answer Aaron's question, even if people will still chant DX, even if they didn't have the DX gimmick. So that's what I think. El Virtuoso?
DX broke up and got back together again. So Shawn Michaels, I watched Raw. I see he wears a little cowboy hat. What happened to his hair? It's gone? Yep. So this is a completely different Shawn Michaels. This This is Shawn Michaels, the trainer, Shawn Michaels. And it's DX. You know, they're not just doing Triple H the game and HBK Shawn Michaels, which is the one that The Undertaker retired. This is the DX team. So to me, that kind of saves the retirement a little bit. Now, granted, if Shawn goes on and wrestles one-on-one at Mania, then, you know, he basically busted the Undertaker, whatever that gimmick was. What WrestleMania was that, 26?
Yep. 26.
So it's a gimmick. It's in Saudi Arabia at Crown Jewel, and it's DX. So I think it's fine. And they're making money, right, Aaron? Aren't they making tons of money from this?
They sure are, and I guess that money talked, and Shawn Michaels is coming out of retirement after 8.5 years. Like I've said before, I have mixed feelings about it. Part of me thinks he just should have stayed retired, but at the same time, if he does wrestle Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles, then maybe it could be great. We'll have to see how things play out in Saudi Arabia at the Crown Jewel pay-per-view. So, what do you guys think about that new merchandise with the DX and the skeleton hands?
It looked pretty sweet, actually too sweet. What do you guys think? It seems funny on that picture. They have the Brothers of Destruction, and then they have Triple H and Shawn Michaels, but they have Triple H now, but then they have Shawn Michaels with the hair and the ponytail. Do you think they don't like Shawn Michaels without the hair? Is that why they're trying to have the Saudis? Hey, this is what Shawn Michaels look like, but when he gets there, he's gonna be bald.
Big G, you know what? Triple H, when he went bald, it was in the corporate direction with the suit and tie. Shawn's still Shawn. So I think him not having that hair is a bigger deal than when Triple H cut his off. You know what I mean? That's what I think. But I don't watch as much as you guys do.
I mean, Shawn Michaels' whole gimmick is sexy boy, and you can't be a sexy boy without those long locks, right? I mean, he's the sexy man now, I guess.
Well, as they say, bald is beautiful, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll know soon, it seems.
Well, pretty soon you'll be like me. You know, you got a little bit of time, hopefully, for your case. All right, so let's move on here. Let's talk about one of the big segments on this week's show. That was the heel turn of the Bellas, turning against Ronda Rousey, and now it is official. Nikki Bella will challenge Ronda for the Raw Women's Championship at Evolution. It has sparked some controversy online. I don't have an issue with it. I know some people do. I would actually like to see Nikki win the title just to piss off the internet fans that don't like the Bellas. I think this is great. I think the Bellas are natural at being heels. I say play up on the controversy. Let them go out there and do their thing and just be cocky and arrogant, brag about how they changed the business. They're the real reason for the evolution. That's heel heat as far as I'm concerned. But I want to get your guys' thoughts. Big G, let's start with you. Your thoughts on the Bellas going heel. Do you like the idea of Nikki being the challenger for Ronda?
I do. Nikki, she has improved over the years. Brie, I mean, she had her moments with the botches and here and there, but that's because she hasn't wrestled in a while. I feel like that Ronda now has a credible opponent. No offense to Alexa, Nia, and the Riot Squad, but I feel Nikki has the experience. She was the longest reigning Divas champion before. I think she still might be the longest reigning Divas champion. And I'm like I said, I'm fine with it. You might be right. Nikki might win the title. My friend even said he wants to see Nikki win the title again, and that way Ronda can chase it and build up her credibility even more as a baby face. TJS, what do you think?
Well, I mean, there's one logic hole in this. I know I'm not supposed to apply logic to WWE, but why is Nikki getting this match, and why is Brie okay with it? Because they both equally beat down Ronda. So why isn't Brie saying, hey, I want this match, not Nikki?
Brie's the longest reigning champion. I think my issue, too, was that why does Nikki just automatically get a title match because of attacking her? Shouldn't she have to, like, win a match to get a title opportunity? I don't know.
The Bellas should have a match to determine. Like, I don't know, but...
Maybe...
oh, sorry, what?
Maybe she still has a connection to John Cena, so she gets whatever she wants.
They were seen in a shopping center in Australia, so I don't know. I think that I just think it's weird that, like you said, Nikki just beats up Ronda, so now she gets a title match. I don't know. I just hope that Nikki throws the forearm because she does have a pretty nice right forearm. But I think it'll be a good match and everything. I just wish that there was more build-up other than just the Bellas beat Ronda up and now there's the match.
Well, I just got to say, Nikki has quite a few nice things. But anyways, El Virtuoso, you want to give us any other thoughts on this?
Last time I was on one of these videos, I remember Nia Jax, who was the champion, challenged Ronda Rousey, right? So the champion challenge. So to me, Rousey gets attacked. This is her way of challenge. She's going to beat up the Bellas for doing that. Nikki in specific, so I don't see anything different about this than that. Did we all complain about Nia challenging the challenger, which is weird?
Yeah.
I don't remember back that far, but I don't have a problem with it because Ronda's going to retain anyway. I don't see Nikki winning this. Matter of fact, I can even see Brie trying to get involved and the ref's knocked out, and I know this is getting ahead of ourselves, but I probably won't be on a review video or a preview video. The double armbar thing to both the Bellas. I see it happening.
Oh, man.
Well, see, I think we might see a little bit of twin magic, and maybe Nikki wins the title in controversial fashion when Brie comes in, when Nikki's under the ring or something.
Is Brie going to stuff the bra again? She's done that before.
She might, yeah. That would make it a little bit more believable, you know? But anyway,
they would have to dress the same too. So
yeah, we'll see how things play out over the next couple of weeks with that. Let's talk about the return of Kurt Angle to Monday Night Raw. Baron Corbin was duped by Senor Angle. Now El Virtuoso. This segment was right up your alley. Where were you for this? You should have been part of this battle royal.
You know, I wish. You know, I met Kurt Angle way back in like 2002. We chatted for like 15 seconds when I asked him for an autograph. But anyway, this was fantastic because if I remember correctly, they did the little play with Heath Slater in the back. Now, if you looked closely, you could tell the way he stands, the way his build is, that was Kurt Angle, if you were really good. But, you know, some people that aren't that keen probably thought, hey, is that Heath trying to get into the match? I liked it. It was brilliant. Way to bring Kurt back. And you know what? He didn't do much. But he looked kind of sharp, and when he took the gimmick off, right, he didn't look too spent. Maybe he got in some better shape during this 6 weeks off or whatever. So it was fantastic. Kudos to Baron Corbin, too. I love the way he sold this, pouting, sitting against the barrier on the outside. I was entertained. This was a very, to me, Vince Russo-heavy Monday Night Raw, except he has nothing to do with wrestling anymore.
All right.
But my point is, Aaron, we're excited. People are excited about things that happened on Raw.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying, right? Stuff like this is missed.
I agree. It was a lot of fun. Big G, anything you would like to add to that?
I enjoyed it. You know, like you mentioned yesterday, it was a fun segment. You had all these different gimmicks from different countries. Then you had Los Conquistador, or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
And you could tell. I could tell when you looked at his boots that those were Kurt Angle boots. That was a dead giveaway. The second giveaway was his build, and the third giveaway was when he was outside standing.
When he took his mask off?
No, when you could see his neck. You could tell his neckline that it was Kurt Angle.
That was a broken freaking neck, man.
And then obviously when he did the German suplexes in the Angle Slam, then you definitely knew it was Kurt Angle. And
the
when
dancing was good too, Big G.
Yeah,
the dancing and the cucaracha and all that stuff.
Yeah, he played it off very, very well, and so did Baron Corbin. So
yeah,
I'm glad Angle's back wrestling at Crown Jewel. We'll see how well he does. And I guess it's going to be single matches this time at Crown Jewel.
Yeah, he's part of the World Cup. So TGS,
yeah.
What do you think about Angle being part of the World Cup, and do you think he might have a shot to win it?
I don't think he's going to win it, but I really did enjoy this whole return angle, no pun intended. But, I mean, the Battle Royal was very entertaining, and I actually did not read the potential spoilers for Raw. I know they were on NoDQ.com, but I was like, I'm not going to read them this time. And it turned out that those spoilers said that Kurt was backstage, and a few other people were. And just because I didn't read those, I was intrigued at who the Conquistador was. I thought it was Slater. Kurt Angle was in the back of my mind. And I really enjoyed it. Kurt Angle looked great. He did the flip, the running flip, then the Germans. And like El Virtuoso said, he did not look gassed. And Corbin, his facial expressions, top notch. I mean, this was just great stuff. I loved it from top to bottom.
Yeah, I was definitely highly sports entertained by this. And yeah, Angle looked to be in great shape. And hopefully the time off has gotten him back to, that optimal physical condition. All right, so now let's talk about another big segment on Raw, which was the return of Lita. Lita came out to be revealed as Trish Stratus's tag team partner. So now instead of 2 singles matches, it's now going to be Trish and Lita teaming together against Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. So is this an improvement, or were you guys hoping that they would do the 2 singles matches? Is this a downgrade? So TJS, let's start with you. Yay or nay on the new match?
Nay. I'm sorry, but I was looking forward to Alexa versus Trish. And, I kind of figure that the reason that they're doing this is because I think Alexa's still hurt. Because she's still, I know you guys probably don't watch Mixed Match Challenge, but Ember Moon is still in her place. And I thought it might have been a 1-week substitution because that's what happened with Charlotte Flair. Becky substituted for her last season, but I mean, Ember Moon is still teaming with Braun, so maybe Alexa's is she's limited in what she can do. I don't know. I think that they have a 3-hour card to fill, so merging two could be. I mean, these 2 matches could have probably gone 20 minutes each, and now you've merged it into probably what will be a 15-minute tag match. So, like I said, 3-hour card to fill. It's going to be interesting what other matches are added. El Virtuoso?
This absolutely needed to be a tag team match because you have Lita and Trish who have not worked regularly in years, and they can spell each other. It's to protect them. It's going to get the best quality out of 2 legends that deserve to be at this event, supported by NoDQ.com, by the way. And I'm telling you, it was brilliant. I like it. Could they have gotten a one-on-one with Bliss and Trish? Yeah, but I think maybe it could have been a little sloppy that way. This way they can tag in and out, and I like it. Everybody remembers the women's Royal Rumble with Lita? Did she look a little bit sloppy last time she was wrestling?
She looked to be like like she was a little bit maybe dropped a few pounds. I mean, she looked in really great shape.
Well, on Raw, but I'm talking the previous time we saw her in action. So I think this is perfect, and it gets Mickie James on the card too. What would she have done? You know what I mean? That's probably why they're doing this, because they want everybody to participate.
She was booked in a match with Lita prior to this.
Yeah.
Well, was that announced?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was announced.
It was announced on social media.
They did this to protect Lita and Trish, and I like that. Big G.
I'm very happy it's a tag team match, like you said. It's more to protect them and probably Alexa Bliss as well. Lita did make an appearance at MCW Pro Wrestling this past weekend as a special guest referee, and she hit the twist of fate, which looked pretty good still. She's in good shape. Trish is in good shape for their age. We'll still see Alexa versus Trish, Lita versus Alexa, and so forth, back and forth. It's a good mixture. It's going to be a long card, probably like 3 hours, and we'll see. I'm happy for it.
I like it because I think it's going to give more time now to maybe a few of the NXT women. They might be able to add a different match with some of the younger talent. So that's why I like it. I'm fine with it. And, you get the Mickie and Trish interaction now in this match, which is what a lot of fans wanted to see anyways. And, of course, Trish and Lita have the history together. So I'm all for it. I'm fine with it. All right, so now let's talk about the Bobby Lashley heel turn and apparent Kevin Owen babyface turn. It looked like a double turn. I really enjoyed this segment, as I mentioned on No DQ Live. I love Lio Rush as the heel manager, so let's get your guys' thoughts on that. And what do you think is going to happen next? I mean, do you think Kevin Owens should go face, or do you think he should stay a heel? Big G, your thoughts on the apparent double turn?
I liked it. I think Bobby Lashley is better as a heel. Lio Rush, like I said before, I've known him from MCW when he first started training. He still wrestles, but I think him being a manager is good as well. Kevin Owens as a babyface, I think it's well overdue. I mean, as soon as his music hits, they already pop for him. They chanted "Fight Owens, fight" for him on Monday night. Yeah, they might boo him still here and there when he did something heelish, but altogether, I think he'll be better as a face. And when Sammy comes back eventually, they can be a face tag team.
All right. I think that's a very valid point you made there. El Virtuoso, what do you think about this? I mean, you're a Lio Rush fan.
Kevin Owens, I mean, you could put a mask on him and he'd be entertaining. So whether he's a babyface or a heel, he'll make it work. It would be nice to see him as a fan favorite, and they can genuinely cheer him and sell merchandise properly. But as for Bobby Lashley, how fitting is this? This is perfect. A big guy like that cannot talk on the mic with Lio Rush being his mouthpiece. Perfect. Bobby Lashley needed it, but the question is, Aaron Rift, what are they going to do with Bobby Lashley? Is he just going to be a mid-card heel, or are they going to push this guy and make him serious? Last time he was serious was what? In the whole WrestleMania angle, the hair versus hair match, right, with Umaga?
Yeah.
Was that really the last time he was taken seriously?
Yeah, and there was some kind of angle with Vince and some other guy. I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah.
TGS likes him, by the way.
What do you think? Well, we don't talk politics on this show.
TGS voted for Trump, everybody.
It's true.
I'll
admit it.
Send all your hate mail to TJS.
Direct all the. I'll just go in at NoDQ _ or twitter.com at NoDQ _ TJS. That's where the hate mail goes. Anyway, this whole Bob the Lash thing. I'm still gonna call him Bob the Lash, but this had to be a double turn because you had Owens with the Tope Con Hero. He was the babyface the whole match. He was his legs were injured, and then you had Lashley giving him the chop block. You had him after the match. He did the whole legs into the post, and he was doing the flexing and the posing. And you had Lio Rush on the outside doing the Lashley thing. And I just want to say, people are saying that, this Bobby Lashley heel thing isn't going to work. Lio Rush is too annoying. That's the point.
Exactly.
Lio Rush, he's supposed to be annoying. You're not supposed to want to hear him. He has that annoying laugh.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart just said baby after everything. He's like, oh, Hulk Hogan, baby. It's like that, but it's with Lio Rush. And I hope that he talks on the mic the whole time because I want Bobby Lashley to be a genuine heel. And I think that he needs to take the Intercontinental Championship from Seth Rollins. That'd be a good place to start. Seth Rollins isn't doing anything with that title right now.
Are you wearing a Seth Rollins shirt?
I am.
Okay.
But
Interesting.
I think he's not doing anything with the title. And Bobby Lashley desperately needs it, I think, because I don't want him to flounder as a heel.
Right.
He's a hot act right now, and like I said, it had to be a double turn.
Yeah, I think it was too. And El Virtuoso, you mentioned earlier, this did feel like a Vince Russo segment with Lio Rush there on the mic doing Lashley, Lashley, Lashley. I loved it. I think he should be on the mic every week. I think it was entertaining as hell. And El Virtuoso, sorry about TJS. I don't want to see you get thrown over the wall, so I apologize for TJS.
Well, I mean, that's fine. Big G's got a red, white, and blue shirt on. I mean, what you guys are making me feel at home. I like that. Thank you.
We try here at NoDQ.com.
Gracias.
All right, Big G, anything you'd like to add to that without getting political?
No, I'm good. We covered everything. Lashley, hopefully this will make Lashley a good heel, and I like TJS's idea about putting the IC title on him.
Oh, just putting the IC title on him. Gotcha.
Yeah. No, I don't get into politics.
You're a smart man, Big G. All right, so we'll see what happens with that. I think there's a lot of potential with this. I hope Lashley goes far as a heel. I like the pairing, and I think Kevin Owens as a face is fine. The fans like him. He was doing all the flashy moves. You know, he did that big somersault flip over the top. That was really cool. So I think it's a nice change of pace. And when Sami Zayn comes back, Owens and Zayn could be a babyface tag team. So you got that as well. All right.
And,
yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to point out, even the announcers were selling Lashley as the heel and Owens as the face because they were like, oh, Owens is helpless, the poor guy. So,
yeah, exactly. So it was pretty obvious the direction.
Yeah.
All right, so now we'll talk about the main event of Raw, and then we'll talk a little bit about SmackDown here. We had a tease at the end. So again, another tease of Dean Ambrose not being happy with the Shield. Where is this going? I mean, is WWE just jerking our chains here, or is there actually going to be a Dean Ambrose turn, or is something going to happen here? Will all the Shield members turn? That ain't going to happen, but I wanted to get your guys' opinions on maybe some ideas, maybe some fantasy booking. Who wants to start on this one? Anybody want to go first?
All right, I'll go.
All right.
Uno. So, here we go, Aaron Rift. They're making us think that Dean Ambrose is going to leave. He's going to want more. He's going to want what Roman has. He's going to want what Seth has. And we're going to get weeks and weeks of this, and nothing's going to happen. And that's what I feel. Remember when Seth Rollins turned? I mean, we kind of knew maybe something was going to happen with the Shield eventually, but we didn't know it was going to be Seth. Maybe we thought it was Dean Ambrose back then. So if I would fantasy book this, if we did it down here, Lucha Libre style, we just put a mask on Ambrose, and he would just be part of he'd only show up with the Shield with the mask on, and then he'd be Dean Ambrose without the mask separate. No, I'm just kidding. You would just turn him heel. I mean, we talked about when he came back, it would be a good opportunity for him to finally be a heel, but you just turn Lashley heel. You know what I mean? How are you going to... Can you just keep turning people heel? Is that always the answer?
Right. I mean, that's
remember the Stone Cold podcast? Ambrose came across on that as very undecisive of this is his passion, right? And Stone Cold was trying to get that out of him. If there was something inside of Ambrose that could channel like a Stone Cold, we've talked about Piper and Pillman. Gosh, that's what I would want to see. So if I could fantasy book this, it would be flat out Ambrose heel turn. I mean, and he would probably have to do something to Rollins because doing something to Reigns isn't going to make it.
Right, he's got to turn against Rollins. Definitely, he's got to turn against Rollins.
Big G, do you agree with that?
I do not agree with you. I do not. I do. You're funny, buddy.
Okay.
I love the Shield. They just got back together. Yeah, we know it's not going to be a long-term thing. They have all the merchandise. I could see them eventually, Rollins and Ambrose, or Ambrose and Reigns challenging Ziggler and McIntyre for the tag team titles, and then them winning it. That way all three members have titles. Because yesterday on a YouTube clip after Raw was over, Ambrose was interviewed, and he pretty much said he doesn't know what his place is in the Shield anymore. And then they had a segment in the ring after Raw, like they usually do, and you had Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, asking, why did he do this, I would be frustrated too if I was Dean Ambrose. You have Roman Reigns as the Universal Champion, you have Rollins as the IC Champion, and you just came back and you're stuck in the middle between these two guys. I mean, he could turn heel, but I don't want to see it, in my opinion. TJS?
Well, I understand that Dean could be frustrated, but it's not Seth's fault. It's not Roman's fault that he's not a champion. I mean, there's only so many titles. For the first time in a long time, I actually don't want a Dean Ambrose heel turn, as long as he keeps away from these goofy comedy segments and he stays serious, which is what he's been up until, he did the stupid segment with the cop. But, I mean, he's been fairly serious, and we've gotten the Shield of old with the masks and the cam promo. I've liked it, and I don't think that we're going to see a split anytime soon. I love hearing the Shield's music, and back before the Shield was together, back when Ambrose was on his own, I would just always groan every time I heard his music because I was so sick of him and because he was so stale. But now, I'm cool with it. But if I was fantasy booking this, I would have Dean Ambrose leave the Shield, have Dolph Ziggler leave the Dog Pack, and form their own group. So that way, it's those two versus the two left in the Shield, and then Braun and Drew, So then you have 3 teams fighting it out. I think that would be interesting.
That is an interesting idea. I would just like to see a slow burn. I want to see Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. That was apparently going to be the plan last year. I say, slowly build it up. Survivor Series, a little bit of dissension, and then Royal Rumble. That's when something goes down between those two, and then you set up Ambrose versus Rollins. But I do agree that...
Did you say Shield versus the Ascension?
What? Did I?
No. Never mind.
Are you just messing
Aaron.
with me?
No, you said descension. I think you said descension. Sorry.
Whatever.
Connection down here.
Okay. Yeah, I know it's rough in Mexico. Yeah, I understand. You got that poor connection. You got the Jeff Meacham connection. I understand.
Oh, damn. Aaron, would you rather see Seth versus Dean or a triple threat match between the Shield for the title, for the world title?
I like it. I'd like to see a Shield triple threat at WrestleMania since we've only gotten that one match. But I have a bad feeling. I shouldn't be saying this. I don't really want to see Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns again, but it would not shock me if that's the direction for WrestleMania. One final match between those two to settle their feud once and for all. But we'll see what happens. We'll see how things play out over the next couple weeks. Let's go ahead and talk about SmackDown Live a little bit. We had a segment with The Miz, Daniel Bryan, and AJ Styles, a Miz TV, and they were all taking some shots at each other. And I want to know from you guys, who stole the show in this segment? Was it Daniel Bryan, who talked about The Miz being a 2-minute man, or was it The Miz? I want to know your guys' thoughts. TJS, I want to start with you, and then Big G.
Is this a hypothetical question, Aaron? I mean, you had The Miz, and this guy is he's incredible on the microphone, and, I mean, he was great. He made the point about AJ's title reign and how he's not headlining the pay-per-views and how the title's never been as irrelevant as it is now. I mean, he didn't mention when CM Punk held it, but, I mean, they're not going to do that. And then you had him talking about Daniel Bryan and how he's not really done much since he's in. It was awesome. I think that this was on par with the Talking Smack promo that he cut a while back. I was flabbergasted at how good this was, and I feel like Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles are just going to be baby faces, and they're going to do the whole respect thing. And I cringed really hard when they were like, or when AJ said, "How good does it feel to punch Miz in the face?" So like I just get tired of the whole dumb comedy thing. But I mean, Miz just did excellent. Big G, what do you think?
Well, I'm going to disagree with you. First of all, no disrespect to The Miz. I'm tired of The Miz. He needs to go make more Marine movies, go back to reality TV, do the challenge. I love my sports entertainment, but I also love my good wrestling matches. And I think, well, actually, I don't think, in my opinion, Miz is not a good wrestler. AJ Styles is, and so is Daniel Bryan. And yeah, The Miz beat Daniel Bryan twice, but Bryan beat him when it counted the most. Yeah, it might have been as Aaron called it, a fruit roll-up package. But he got the win. We're getting a dream match between two phenomenal wrestlers. And like I said, Miz can just go on into the sunset with Maurice and do Miz and Mrs. for as long as he wants.
Wow. Well, Everybody send your hate mail to Big G over at NoDQ.com/Jeff, GEOFF, right?
Yes, and
All right.
Virtue, if you're watching, by the way, I got something for you tomorrow on Virtue's Rage,
Well,
buddy.
you know what?
Well, I'm looking at Virtue's Twitter right now.
Yeah,
And
well,
this is one of his
I
tweets.
gotta know something from you, El Virtuoso, because Virtue was ripping into Daniel Bryan. Please tell me you're a little bit smarter than that, and you're not gonna rip on Daniel Bryan.
Well, let me read this tweet from Virtue first, because this is why I think I'm on the show today. He says, the reality, capital reality, think about that for a minute, is The Miz has accomplished more in WWE during his career than Daniel Bryan has. Why? Because 1, Miz has charisma, and 2, Miz works safe. Is he wrong? I like Daniel Bryan, but I like The Miz too. Is Virtue technically wrong? Now, The Miz didn't get hurt, but he works safe. Big G, you don't like his wrestling? He sports entertains. He tries to keep himself healthy so he can go from town to town and he doesn't have to retire from 2 years. I respect that. He does not cop out to what fans want today. He still gives sports entertainment. They're both great. Okay? Daniel Bryan's problem is I see he can get stale to the casual fans. Watch that promo tonight on SmackDown. Him and AJ were robots. The Miz was a robot until he stepped outside onto the ring apron, and then he gets into that passion mode. That's what sells wrestling.
And
What the Miz did right there.
And the thing is, he was supposed to be robotic because he was even saying, like, oh, I'm staying professional.
Yes.
And then when he finally snapped, that's when he started doing the yelling and everything. And I think Miz is a good wrestler, but I think he phones it in a lot of the time unless it's a big match, which is fine. Like you said, El Virtuoso, so he has to work it safe until it's a big stage, because these TV matches, they're worthless. So I think
matches are really good. So I think you guys are not giving him enough credit for being.
Yeah, I mean, and the problem with Daniel Bryan, I can see what Virtue. I know Virtue likes Daniel Bryan, right? I do know that. I go way back with Virtue, and he really liked Bryan working with the Wyatts. If we remember that, Bryan had some character back then, and that actually set off Bryan's big run into WrestleMania 30 when he worked with Bray. So Bryan can be a great wrestler and still have great storyline stuff, Big G. It doesn't always have to be, well, let's just put him with AJ and give him 30 minutes in the ring, right? Every wrestling promotion in the Indies, Ring of Honor, New Japan, down here in Mexico City, that's what they all do, right? Everybody's trying to do lucha libre, luchador stuff. But you still need to draw the masses TV appeal, and The Miz has it.
Well said. I mean, Miz did a tremendous job when he got on the apron there and ripped into both guys and brought up how AJ is the most irrelevant champion in WWE. That was awesome.
That's true. I mean, but look at it right now. Doesn't it feel that way?
Yeah, I mean, it's taking the truth and mixing it into the storyline, which is always really fun. So anyways, we'll go ahead and talk about what Virtue likes to call the main event, and then if you guys want to add anything else, maybe we can throw in one or two more topics. So we have SmackDown 1000 coming up next week, and I'm going to put you guys on the spot. I want you guys to name one episode of SmackDown, not a segment, but an entire episode of SmackDown that sticks up in your mind the most. I'll go ahead and start so you guys can have a few minutes here to think about it. I'm going to talk about a SmackDown episode that I thought was just outstanding, and that was in 2001 when you had the TLC match that Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho won. That was one of the all-time greatest SmackDown matches. Unfortunately, in history, it's going to be forgotten about because of Chris Benoit and what happened with him. But that was just a great SmackDown, and I think that took up much of the show. That was a very lengthy match. That was one of my favorite SmackDowns off the top of my head. So anybody have one that they can go ahead and list off? Just an episode of SmackDown where you were like blown away by. I'll name another one if you guys need a few more moments to think about it. How about that episode where Triple H had to wrestle 5 times on one show? I think that was right before Vince Russo left, but Triple H was forced by Vince to do what was it? The Buried Alive match. I think it was, maybe not a Buried Alive match. Now I'm forgetting. It was the Mankind match, Boiler Room Brawl, Inferno match, all these different matches. Brahma Bull Rope match with The Rock. I really like that episode. I also like the episode of SmackDown with the Buried Alive match. That was the one I was also thinking of. So anybody want to share one with us now?
Was it the episode of SmackDown after WrestleMania 21 or 20 when Eddie Guerrero was the? Which one was Eddie Guerrero celebrating as the WWE champion?
Yeah, that would have been after WrestleMania 20.
That's my favorite SmackDown.
Okay. TGS?
Why shouldn't it be?
Yeah.
We all want Eddie back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you go on the WWE Network, which we do have down here in Mexico, you go to that SmackDown and you see Eddie coming out as a champion. Tell me that's not a magical moment. Yeah. Everybody should go out. Go right now. What do you guys call it? The No DQ Galaxy? Go find that on the network. Even watch when he won it at Mania. Go watch Eddie Guerrero.
All right, TJS, you got something for us?
Well, I'm going to let Big G go here while I ponder.
It's hard for me to say. I would have to go back and watch some SmackDown episodes. But I guess one of my favorite episodes would probably be the SmackDown after 9/11, in my opinion.
Well, there you go. That's a nice answer. TGS, your time is up.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the 9/11 SmackDown was great, but I mean, if I had to choose my favorite SmackDown episode, it was the one where there was the Thanksgiving, the little Thanksgiving dinner that was there, and I mean, you had Big Show there, and they were enjoying food, and I don't remember who was the guy that came out and.
Of all the SmackDowns, you picked the one with Luther Reigns as your favorite.
Yeah, that was it. Luther Reigns comes out.
I thought for sure you would have said the one with Shawn Michaels super kicking The Rock. Wasn't that a SmackDown?
That was the first one.
The very first SmackDown. That was one of my other favorites.
Numero
the very
uno.
first episode. Yeah.
Look, the Luther Reigns having the peas. That quote, "I had peas before." That it just stands out in my brain, and I believe that was arguably the best SmackDown segment in history.
Well, there you go. TGS is a man of opinions tonight. All right. So is there anything else you guys would like to bring to the table? El Virtuoso, anything you would like to discuss?
I heard you guys on your last review show, you talked about Chris Jericho, correct?
Yeah.
Showing up at Impact or Improv, whatever that other promotion's called.
Wait.
Improv.
Well,
so wait a minute. You're bringing up Chris Jericho when Virtue's favorite wrestler is Chris Jericho.
I'm bringing up Chris Jericho because he showed up at New Japan again with a mask on, right? And he took it off, and I'm just pointing out that Chris Jericho has more creative stuff that he does. And I actually saw Virtue tweet this. Since he's been gone from WWE, just one single man doing this in the wrestling business than WWE's done creatively during that same span. He walked out with this guy named Evil as part of one of his druid, Evil Dead guys. And then Evil gets up, a Japanese wrestler, up on the ring apron, and then Jericho attacks him. That is just magnificent. And revealing yourself via taking your mask off, like Kurt Angle did, is absolutely magnificent. I mean, I wish this was live on Super Chat, and someone would say, "Hey, El Virtuoso, I'll do a $100 Super Chat for you to take your mask off."
Well, you should, because I feel like you are Virtue, because Virtue loves Chris Jericho, and you're talking about all this stuff with Chris Jericho in New Japan.
A lot of people like Chris Jericho.
Yeah, I know.
He wrestled in Mexico.
Well, a lot of people out there think you are Virtue.
Yeah, I mean.
So what are you trying to say? Are you trying to make me take my hood off? Seriously.
Well,
is that what
are you Virtue?
I am El Virtuoso, and the fact his name is similar to mine is just a bunch of
prove it. Take off the mask. Prove it.
I've never seen Virtue and El Virtuoso in the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
You seriously are telling me to take.
If you got the balls, you got the balls. Do people in Mexico not have balls? Well, he's gonna do it.
I'm a man.
Is he? No, he's not gonna do it.
Wait.
Hey!
There you have it. I told you I am El Virtuoso.
There you have it, people.
There it is, right here. A man of many colors and masks.
It's not Virtue. It's true. I mean, I never believed it, but there you have it, folks.
I hope Evil destroys Chris Jericho to become the IWGP Intercontinental Champion. Next.
All right, TGS, did you have anything else you wanted to bring to the table tonight?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the fact that there was no New Day on SmackDown. Where do you guys think that they go from here? I mean, they just picked up a win over the Bar, and I mean, the SmackDown Tag Division's looking, it's looking pretty barren. So, I mean, I don't know what's going on. We didn't get any pancakes. I don't know. I feel like the New Day needs some sort of direction, because I don't think they need to be kept off TV, because, like you said, I mean, champions always need to be on the shows.
Right.
And speaking of which, also, no Nakamura. So, so what do you think is going on with how do you feel, Big G, about SmackDown not having their champions appear on weekly television?
Well, I mean, you can't have everybody on TV, but I mean, you should have your champions on TV. Where does the New Day go from here? I mean, they've beaten everybody in the division. I mean, what do? Bring the Colognes and have them beat the Colognes as well, and that's it?
If Carlito was one of them, I would.
New Day, they've beaten the Bar. I mean, they've beaten. Well, have they beat Gallows and Anderson yet?
I forgot about them.
Yeah. They could feud with the Good Brothers. I could see that. That'd be a good feud, I think. As far as Nakamura goes, he does have the match next week with Rey Mysterio for the World Cup qualifier match. I mean, I have nothing else to say about that.
I'm going with Rey in that one, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, you are El Virtuoso after all.
Yeah.
I just think that the New Day, they need something to change things up a little bit. They are, after all, aren't they like the 5th greatest act in the history of SmackDown, according to WWE or something like that? So you would think that they'll be on the show next week, since it is the 1000th episode. And then, of course,
maybe they ran out of pancake batter tonight.
I did read somewhere that I don't know if it was from NoDQ.com, but they said they might bring up the Street Profits from NXT to add them to the New Day to give them a little bit more of rejuvenation, I guess. Add more members to the Day. Huh?
We'll see about that one.
Well, maybe they'll make the New Day big like the NWO, and then they'll have the Wolfpack New Day and the Black and White New Day.
I really hope not. Please don't even suggest that. All right. Big G, is there any other topic you would like to bring up?
Well, just random here, but SmackDown 1000 is next week. Who do you guys want to see on SmackDown 1000?
Well,
not any of the names that they already announced.
Well, The Rock, obviously. I want to see The Rock on the show since it is his show, but that's not a guarantee that it's going to happen. I'm not going to get my hopes up. I think we might see a video package from him saying, "Hey, everybody, thank you for supporting WWE and SmackDown for all these years, blah, blah, blah." But I would be surprised if he actually showed up on the program. It would be really cool, though, and I think it should happen. TJS, anybody else you can think of that you would like to see?
Well, first, I just want to say, Aaron, we're not even going to get the video package. We're going to get a tweet from The Rock, and they're going to put it on the big screen.
You nailed it. You nailed it.
Yeah, but obviously The Rock needs to show up, and I feel like this show is going to be just plagued with appearances, and there's not going to be a whole lot of actual wrestling, and I'm worried about that. It was the same thing for Raw 25. I was worried. By the way, isn't SmackDown getting the shaft here? They are treating SmackDown 1000 like it's not a big deal at all, and they hyped up Raw 25 for months.
Well, you got Batista.
That's the thing, though.
Until SmackDown's officially on Fox, it's the B show.
But, okay, that's true. But why is Evolution appearing on this show? They weren't even on SmackDown. I don't get it. I mean, it's just all confusing to me. I feel like they just needed star power, so they're like, We've already got Triple H and Randy Orton. Let's call Batista and Rick. And we got Evolution.
Well, we're going to have Ray, right?
Yes, Ray's going to be
and
there.
then my senorita, one, Miss Vicky Guerrero. I will pop for her. Getting the excuse me is legendary, and I think we can all agree on that.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, and Teddy Long, of course. We need Teddy Long.
Got to make a tag team match, player.
Matter of fact, I'm going to tweet Vicky. I'm going to make sure she's ready for next Thursday. She better be there.
And of course, I'll be there live at SmackDown 1000
you're
next
going there
Tuesday.
live?
Yep, going there live.
All right. Well, you'll have to give us some insight about the show.
Definitely.
All right. Well, on that note, I think we'll go ahead and wrap up this edition of the No DQ review. Let's go ahead and do the plugs. Let's start off with you, Big G. Now that you're back, go ahead and give us your location to where we can find you and get on your case about what you said earlier towards The Miz.
NoDQ.com/Jeff takes you to my Twitter page. NoDQ_Big G Instagram. Jeffrey Hiltzel on Facebook. NoDQ.com/shirts. I'm wearing NoDQ.com, the patriotic shirt. Aaron's got his. I got a shirt. Everybody's got shirts. Like I said, I'll be at SmackDown 1000. I'll be live tweeting during the show, and I'll be wearing my NoDQ.com shirt as well.
Awesome. At Tyler Justice Smith on Instagram, at NoDQ_TJS on Twitter, NoDQ.com/TJS will take you to my Facebook. You can add me, NoDQ.com/shirts. You can pick up all the lovely shirts that we have there. We have Big G's patriotic shirt, which is one of my personal favorites. And if you guys noticed, Greg Cherry made an announcement regarding the future of Wrestling Trivia Challenge. I think you guys should check that video out and stay tuned because it's going to be an interesting season next time.
All right, El Virtuoso, you got anything?
No, but you can go at NoDQ_DOTCOM. I have an Instagram, but I don't use it. It's like Julio Javier Gonzalez.
Oh. Okay, well, I'm sure everybody will take time to look that up.
Okay.
Before we wrap it up, I forgot. I don't want Virtue to get mad at me. NoDQ.com/Virtue with a small V takes you to his Facebook page, and we have Virtue's Rage coming back tomorrow night.
All right. Well, any chance we're going to get that mask taken off, that second one?
It's face paint. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's not a mask, Aaron. That's a skin.
It's face paint.
Okay, gotcha.
It's face paint.
Oh, well, I tried it. All right, so on that note, we will go ahead and wrap up this edition of the No DQ review. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you all next time.
Orale.